when consulted, unlike consulting people like us, psychiatrists. I am very happy with our sharing today because it again gives me the opportunity to share with you in this forum something about our culture and how it impacts on our own psychiatric practice. So I'm going to share our own experience here in Iloilo. My outline includes this introduction, definitions and cultural self-assessment, clinical issues and implications for cultural competence, as well as a few concluding remarks. So Cross et al. In 1989, as well as Isaacs and Benjamin in 1991, defined cultural competence as a set of congruent behaviors, attitudes, and policies that come together in a system, agency, or among professionals, and that enables that system, agency, or those professionals to work effectively in cross-cultural situations. Culture is used because it implies the integrated patterns of human behavior that include thoughts, communications, actions, customs, beliefs, values, and institutions of racial, ethnic, religious, or social groups. The word competence is used because it implies having the capacity to function within the context of culturally integrated patterns of human behavior defined by a group. There are 5 essential elements that contribute to a system's ability to become culturally competent. A system to be so-called culturally competent must first value diversity, like the diversity that we have here in this room. It must have the capacity for cultural self-assessment. It must be conscious of the dynamics inherent when cultures interact. It must institutionalize cultural knowledge. And lastly, it must develop adaptations to service delivery, reflecting an understanding between and within cultures. These qualities and abilities should be manifested in every level of the service delivery system and be reflected in attitudes, structures, policies, and services. As I pondered on this, it was the capacity for cultural self-assessment that struck me deeply, as it is said that if a person is aware of her own cultural behaviors, then she can learn to modify them when appropriate. I am not sure if this is right, but I feel that I should begin with my own self-cultural assessment so that you will know where I am coming from. And I can only speak from my experience in Iloilo, so I cannot say that this is representative of the culture of the Visayas, as diversity abounds even in Iloilo alone. My perspective is that of a middle-class female, Catholic from birth up to now, who grew up in a rural area in Leon, educated in public schools, both in the rural for elementary school and urban areas, Iloilo City for high school, here in this campus, both for high school and for my biological sciences, and medicine in the West Visayas State University College of Medicine, where I am now a full-time faculty member, and in Manila for my postgraduate training in adult psychiatry. And I have been practicing psychiatry both as a clinician and as an educator for 21 years here in this city. I was born and raised in Iloilo, and my cultural heritage, as far as medicine or medical systems are concerned, is an interesting mix. It is a mixture of religious, indigenous, and Western beliefs, concepts, and practices. It is represented by 3 women in my life. My mother, who was educated by nuns and was a deeply religious Catholic. My older paternal aunts, our Nana, who did pangluya, which was a form of ritual healing with the use of ginger, and her healing practices was limited to our family members only. And my younger paternal aunt, who is now 90 years old and is still living in Leon, who is a University of Santo Tomas, the oldest college of medicine in the country, trained rural health practitioner. My young world was inhabited not only by family and other people, but also by a benevolent, all-seeing, all-giving God, with Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, and all the angels and saints at his side, as well as by the encantos, who are spirit beings like the tamawu, the kama-kama, the manchu, the kapri, the aswangs, and a host of others. Health was maintained not only by